Join us for an Ozark Mountain adventure as we canoe approximately 30 miles from our entry point on the Buffalo National River to our destination on the White River at Lone Rock, Arkansas. We begin at the abandoned town of Rush. Rush was a mining town that was established around the mining of zinc. It was an active community from around 1880 until about 1940. The old town can still be witnessed along with other structures on the way down to the Buffalo National River. Rush Historic District was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1987. Join us for an adventure down America's first national river, the Buffalo National River. In typical Arkansas fashion, the weather is going to be all over the place, and they're calling for strong thunderstorms this afternoon and into tonight. So this is our very first bend of the river and our very first rapid. It's pretty notorious. It's really nice over here and pretty, but we don't want to tump over, so we're not really sure if we're going to shoot the rapid or we're going to line down over here on this eddy. Some nice bluffs though, and a heck of a river. The first set of rapids leaving Rush is called Clabber Creek Shoals. Novice paddlers may want a portage around the shoal. For experienced paddlers, it is recommended to stay to the left side of the river. After navigating the first rapid, we encountered a little sunshine and we decided to fish the deep pool below Clabber Creek Shoal. We were both able to hook into a few Ozark bass, which are indigenous to the White River and its tributaries. Ozark bass prefer clear water with high levels of dissolved oxygen and rocky or sandy bottoms. They usually weigh less than 1 pound. Just like many fish, the male guards the nest until the fry or baby fish are ready to depart. The Ozarks are home to many blue ribbon streams for smallmouth bass. The Buffalo River is one of the more well-known streams, and today did not disappoint. With today's thunderstorm looming in the distance, the fish must have been hungry because we were blessed to catch many good-sized fish. Pulled over about an hour ago and set up this little temporary shelter. And it was supposed to rain on us, and then we've been here for a whole hour and it hasn't rained yet, so we were debating on maybe loading back up in the canoe and going back down because we've only covered like 3 miles today. But then we heard some thunder, so we're not really sure what to do. It was supposed to be here at 3 and it's like 4 and it hasn't rained yet, and we're trying not to get all our stuff wet. So we were just kind of waiting it out. Well, we're back on the river. The skies have cleared. We never got any rain. We might still get a lot of rain. We'll see. But we're going to try to make up for some lost time. Get down the river a little ways. Probably fish a little bit more, but we're going to try not to get rained on. We made an effort to cover more river miles, but Mother Nature had other plans. After being back on the river no longer than 10 minutes, the rain had come. We hightailed it back to the bank to set up camp in the rain. Well, the rain finally caught up with us. It's about what we're looking like here. Got the old tarp set up just in time. It's pouring. It's supposed to be like this for a few hours, so we're probably gonna get a little uncomfortable. Well, we made it out of at least one section of the very hard and torrential rains. We've got our little makeshift camp set up. A lot of our stuff got wet though. We knew what we were getting into when we decided to come today though. So it's not really too bad. Michael's over there breaking a bunch of wood, getting ready to start the fire. And we're gonna cook, and then we're gonna batten down the hatches in case round 2 comes through this afternoon, which I think around midnight we're probably gonna end up getting another storm roll through. Hopefully not as bad as the one that just came through, because it sucked us. Well, the rain died down. We got a good fire going over here. Started it with all stuff that we found here. Barely see it over there, I think. Hopefully the rain holds off, but I think we're supposed to get one more big rain. We got the canoe tied up there so it doesn't get washed away. We're pretty good ways up there and we're only supposed to get 1 or 2 inches. It's probably hard to tell in the video, but it's like real foggy back there behind us. It's real pretty. Feel blessed to be here. All right, we had a long day, but we just finished eating. The rain finally stopped. We're getting dried out. It's 9:30. It was kind of stressful for just a little bit, but it ended up being like very pleasurable. It was an awesome afternoon. And it was real pretty. And now that we're all set up, it's gonna be cozy. We're gonna let this little fire burn down. I don't think you can even see it. And then we're gonna see y'all tomorrow. We just woke up, well, probably about 45 minutes or an hour ago, and tried to fish a little bit and didn't catch anything. And we're about to start that fire up. Try to get some breakfast going and some coffee. It's real pretty outside. Nice and foggy, feels good. Didn't get rained on too much last night, so pretty good shape. Hopefully we'll get on the river for the next hour or so. Before heading back out on the river, Michael decided to try to catch a few fish. After seeing his luck, I decided that I would try too. I ran down here as fast as I could because Michael got him a good fish. It is a whopper smallmouth bass. Man, that is a good looking fish right there. Just about as soon as we got back on the river, Michael landed another smallmouth bass. With the water rising and noticeably more of a murky color, the fish had just stopped biting. We decided to pull over just downstream a big creek to make lunch. We just pulled over for a stop just past Big Creek. This was a good place to eat lunch and to try to catch some fish. We're gonna unpack our lunch and hang out here for probably 30 minutes or so. Throw the line a few times, and then we're gonna pack back up and we're gonna head on down. The barbecue skewer method just wasn't working, so we had to break out the cast iron skillet. While we were cooking, the river continued to rise and our canoe began to float off. We didn't get footage, but I had to go for a little swim. Always tie up your canoe, a lesson we had to learn the hard way. With full bellies and the canoe in our possession once again, we were back on the river. Although the river wasn't as clear as it was the day before and the fishing not quite as good, the rock formations and the natural beauty that the Ozark Mountains has to offer was amazing. Well, we're about 12 or 13 miles away from the confluence with the White River. We brought 3 gallons of water total, and we're gonna fill this filter up because we just found this awesome spring-fed creek. All right, we're gonna walk on up and show you the little waterfall that's here. Check it out. On the river, once again, the scenery continued to be beautiful until, like a beacon to a weary sailor, there was Elephant Head Rock, standing 262 feet above the river in all its grandeur. Well, we had a hard time finding a campsite, but I think we finally found a place. Even though it's not ideal, we think it's going to work okay. We paddled about 15 miles today, and we are about 2 to 3 miles away from the White River. After we hit the White River, we have 6.5 to 7 miles before we get to our takeout point, and that's where Keely's going to be picking us up. So we're about to set up camp. Well, we just got camp set up. Michael's down there fishing a little bit, about to get the fire going. We're gonna be cooking dinner here soon. Mosquitoes are kind of bad at this spot, so we're hoping it cools down a whole lot and they go away. And other than that, we're gonna wake up tomorrow. We have the whole rest of the day tomorrow to hang out and kind of do whatever we want to. And then on Sunday, we've got to make it to Ship's Ferry. We'll let you know. It's the morning of our 3rd day. We just woke up. We're about 2 miles from the White River. It's foggy. We had a real big chill come through last night. We're about to get up, make some breakfast and coffee. Probably do a little bit of fishing. We don't have to go so quickly today and be in a rush because we covered a lot of miles yesterday, so we can go a little bit slower. Well, it's day 3. This is morning time. We just made coffee. We got the fire going nice down here. We're about to cook breakfast and probably break camp. We've only got about like 8 more miles before we get to the place we're supposed to take out tomorrow. So we're probably gonna float down about 3 or 4 more miles today and find a camp. Then we're gonna break camp real early in the morning. Tomorrow morning, we're not gonna cook breakfast and stuff. We're just gonna eat oatmeal. Then we're gonna hit the river as soon as we can. The river's up quite a bit and it's gotten a lot dirtier, so the fishing's not as good. It's risen quite a bit since last night when we went to sleep. It's been a pretty good camp so far. Well, we're pretty well packed up and we're about to head downriver. We should be at the White River in about 2.5 to 3 miles. Then after that, only 6 miles to where we take out at Ship's Ferry, or 6.5. And we have the rest of today and a little bit in the morning to get there. So it's gonna be a pretty easy day on the river. We just put the fire out, cleaned up everything the best we can. Didn't get it videotaped, but we had a couple of game wardens stop by and check our license and everything just a few minutes ago. They're real nice. That's about it. We're about to hit the river. Well, I just caught a fish and now Michael caught one too. Dang, some good fish too. Right, cool dude. At this point, we are less than 1/2 mile from the confluence with the White River, and you can tell there is a lot of sediment in the water. Nearby, we found a beautiful spring to stock up on fresh water for the next 1.5 days of our adventure. We found this spring right before we get to the White River, and we didn't want to be filtering water out of the White River, so we're going to filter the spring water. It's really pretty, it's cold, it's real clear, lots of rocks. So we're going to head up here, we're going to filter this water. It's probably going to take a while. Then we're going to get back on the river and we're going to decide whether we're going to camp on the Buffalo or on the White. The wind's real heavy today, and it's been blowing us around like crazy. So it's been, and the river's real high, so there's been a lot of waves, and it's been pretty rough going today, paddling against that wind with that current. So we're trying to figure out what the safest thing to do, but we're thinking if the Buffalo's looking as rough as it is today, that the White River must be in real bad shape. So we're gonna keep a check on that and kind of figure out what we're gonna do the rest of the day. Well, after filtering about 1 gallon of water, the filter stopped working. It stopped basically down to just a drop or 2 at a time, and it would take a long time to fill up 4 gallons at that pace. So I had to go back to the canoe, get this plunger. We're gonna use it to clean the filter, and hopefully that'll get the stream going a little bit stronger so that we can filter our water and get back on the river, because it's 1:40. We still have a few miles we want to make today. All right, we're back in business. We filtered 2.5 gallons, and then we have 1 gallon of unfiltered water, and we're gonna maybe filter that other gallon later if we need it. It takes a while to filter it, so we think this is gonna be enough to hold us over. Plus I have a 64-ounce metal container full of water that's fresh water, so I think we're going to be in good shape. We're about to head back to the canoe, and then in 1/2 mile we'll be at the White River, and we're going to see what the conditions are like there. Probably float down a few miles and then camp there until tomorrow morning. We're going to leave straight out and try to meet Keely at maybe around 1 o'clock. This marks the beginning of our time on the White River. We originally planned on staying on the White River for about 6 miles and taking out at Ship's Ferry, but we decided to take out at the Cartney boat ramp since there was a nice flat place to camp. We were able to make camp early and we had some extra time on our hands, and Michael's going to show us how to make a bow drill fire. It's worth noting that Michael makes this look easy and he's really good at it. The rest of the evening we organized our gear, we had a delicious dinner, and we hung out around the fire. Homemade tortilla soup, courtesy of Keely, cooked over an open fire. It's the morning of day 4. We just got a fire going. We are about to eat some oatmeal and drink some coffee. We're gonna pack up everything, and then Keely should be here in about 3 hours to pick us up. It's 38 degrees this morning. It's not too cold. Real pretty outside. The sun's supposed to come up. It's supposed to get warm today. It's been kind of what the weather's been like just about since we got here, except for that big rain on Thursday. It's nice waking up by the White River. That ought to wrap it up. We just got to pack up and hit the road. Thank you for joining us on our Ozark Mountain adventure.